GLC presents, brought to you by the donations of our faithful partners.
You know, as you begin to walk with God, you get where you can recognize when He's talking to you. At first, it's like, does God really talk to people today? And yes, He does. And you can ask any Christian, oh yeah, I've had the Lord talk to me. And He's talked to me in many ways. But there's another time, another situation, another season with God that can be so difficult. And that's when God is silent. Have you ever had those times where you just felt like screaming, God, are you listening? Do you hear do you see? Do you care? Tell me something, talk to me. And He's quiet, He doesn't say anything. Why in the world would God do that? When the Bible is full of God saying, I want to communicate with you. I want to talk to you. My sheep do know my voice. They do hear me. Look at this scripture that's up on the screen right now. My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. So you have to be in God's pasture. You have to belong to Jesus. You have to be one of His sheep. But they hear the voice. You know, if you can talk to people that have anything to do with raising sheep, sheep get where they know the voice of their shepherd. And they don't follow somebody else's voice. They recognize his voice and they go that way. It even talks in the Bible where it says, I believe it's in Isaiah, and I heard a voice behind me saying, this is the way, walk ye in it. And so God does speak. Oh, there's songs, there's books, there's even movies nowadays of God talking to people. And there's a real learning process, as I've said. But I'm telling you, if you walk with the Lord very long, you are going to go through those times that no matter what, no matter how difficult it is, no matter how much you think, I've got to know what to do, God doesn't speak. And He has good reason for it. We're going to talk about that. Let me ask you something. Have you ever sat down and honestly thought about all of the different ways God has talked to you? Some people have even heard His voice, like an audible voice. Other people say, oh no, God can't do that. Well, I've heard it. And it was a long time ago. I don't guess you hear it often. But I'll tell you about when I heard it, the audible voice of God. I was living in a town, Arlington, Texas, and I had found the Lord like I didn't even know you could find the Lord. I didn't know you could know Jesus like that. And it was so wonderful and so life-changing for me that I didn't want to ever leave it. And God moved us a long way away, and I was miserable. I was miserable. I wanted to go back. I prayed to go back. I was so unhappy. And one day I was sitting in a chair reading the Bible or the newspaper or something, I don't even remember, but just thinking about it, and I said, oh God, if I could just go back. And I heard right here, it's not possible, Betty. And I literally felt the hairs on my ear tingle. I heard the voice right here. I know I did. It's not possible, Betty. I didn't know what that meant, but I knew it was God talking to me, and I knew He knew what He was talking about. As I've looked over my life in the 30 years since then, of course it wasn't possible. God had such a big plan for my life, and I couldn't have done it anywhere but where He had moved me. Because I had prayed, put us where we can serve you the best. Look at this picture of this woman and how worried she is. And you can tell God's not talking to her. You can tell she is just can't figure out what to do. I think that probably if you ask Christians, they've all experienced days, weeks, months when God seems silent. There's a book out right now about Mother Teresa, and it was almost like the author was hoping to expose her and say, she never, you know, we thought we heard about Mother Teresa being this wonderful Christian. Well, really, behind the scenes, she never really heard God. It was so rare. And it was like they were exposing her. But I'm going to show you why that possibly happened to her. And I want you to think about why it could have happened. The first thing I need to tell you is God may seem silent, but He's always active. When you can't trace His hand, you can always trust His heart. When you can't hear His direction for you, look around you. Where do you see God working? Sometimes He's not working with you right now. He's working with somebody else. Well, be happy for them. They're all excited. God's talking to them. They want to share it with you. Well, don't go over there and just be moany-groany and, moody and say, well, I don't want to hear about it. No. You're supposed to weep with those that weep and rejoice with those that rejoice. You need to let them tell you, this is how God is working, and I believe God has said this to me,